With the greytHR's Employee Onboarding module, say goodbye to paperwork. The employee onboarding process includes initiating, collecting employee information, also sharing the online onboarding form. After the employee has submitted the form, you can review the details and accept or reject them. Also ensure the employee acknowledgement of different policies and forms during the onboarding process. You can perform the following tasks to the employee onboarding process, such as configure employee onboarding policy, release the employee self-onboarding access for an individual new employee or existing employees, also to the employees added in bulk. Finally, manage your employee onboarding workflow requests on greytHR. So let's get started with the configuring employee onboarding policy. The first step after an employee joins is to initiate the employee onboarding. To initiate an onboarding process, you need to configure the onboarding policies by navigating to the Settings, System Settings, Employee Onboarding Policy page. Click here on Add Form or Add Policy as per your requirement. Let's click on Add Company Policy to select and configure the selected policy. Select the company policy from the drop-down list. The selected policy will become a part of the employee onboarding process. Select the Acknowledgement Required option to ensure that the employee reads and acknowledges the policy during the onboarding process. To know more about forms and policies creation, please refer to the below mentioned video, Company Policies and Forms. Please note the policies and forms configured for acknowledgement appears on the Submit Forms page and the other forms appears on the Employee Onboarding Submitted Success page. The instructions for employees text box, enter any instruction for employees if any. Click Next to move to the next step, which is Employee Information Settings. Under Employee Information Settings, you can configure the fields that need to be displayed or made mandatory for employees. The configuration page appears with a list of predefined fields and checkboxes adjacent to each field. Under the Information and Attachments column, select the checkboxes provided to mark the field as mandatory. Click Save to complete the employee onboarding policy configuration. Now let's see how to release the employee self-onboarding on greytHR. You can release employee self-onboarding while onboarding an individual employee or multiple employees. You can also release the onboarding to your existing employees. The self-onboarding for an individual employee can be initiated by clicking on the Allow this employee to fill their information checkbox from the Add Employee wizard. Click Employee Onboarding Policy to check the configurations before initiating the onboarding process. This is not a mandatory step. It is recommended to check the configurations before initiating the onboarding process. Also ensure the changes are saved if any. Click Next to complete all the steps to add the employee to the application. This will release the onboarding process to the newly added employee. There might be situations when you need to collect some data from your existing employees or from the employees who are added via Excel import. Sending individual emails to each employee for requesting the information may not be a great option. Hence, greytHR Employee Self-Onboarding is here to help. You can now initiate onboarding for existing employees and multiple new employees by navigating to the Employee Onboarding page from the Actions tab. Select Not Initiated from the drop-down to list out the employees for whom the onboarding is not initiated. If the email ID for an employee is missing, the employee row will appear in red. You can release the onboarding access to these employees after updating the email IDs in the employee profile page. Now select the employees using the checkbox adjacent to the employee's name. Click Employee Onboarding Policy to check the configurations before initiating the onboarding process. Please note this is not a mandatory step. It is recommended to check the configuration before initiating the onboarding process. Click Initiate Onboarding, a pop-up appears. Click Confirm, a success message appears. From this page, you can also initiate the onboarding for existing employees who have completed the onboarding process earlier. Employees for whom the onboarding was initiated and verified or withdrawn are listed under the closed status on the employee onboarding page. To release the onboarding to those employees, you need to select the status as closed from the status drop-down list. Select the employees using the checkbox adjacent to the employee's name. Click Initiate Onboarding, the pop-up appears. Click Confirm, a success message appears. Please note, after the onboarding process is successfully released for the employees, the status of the employee changes from not initiated or closed to active on the employee onboarding page. Employee will now get a notification on their registered email address to start the onboarding process. Click on the below mentioned video to know more about how employees can complete their onboarding on greytHR and how you can manage the onboarding workflow request from your admin login. With that, we come to an end of this video. I hope you found this video useful. Stay tuned for more and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to get updates about our upcoming videos. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.